Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fathi, and I'm going to talk about MingBridge Analytics. I'm the CEO of the company, and humans tend to make mistakes, and sadly enough, some of the humans also tend to are prone to fraud. And here are some examples that you have seen in the last few decades of fraud, but it doesn't stop there. You can see that it continues now. And just example, you can see on your screen, BT lost $10 billion overnight because of fraud that happened in the Italian subsidiary. But the nice Canadians also do that. So it's not restricted to any one organization or any one country. So what are we tackling? What we are tackling is the financial losses associated with fraud and errors. And from our perspective, error plus intent is fraud. Computers cannot detect fraud. What we detect, we cannot detect intent. We can detect the errors. So worldwide, on a yearly basis, there is $3 trillion of money that is lost. And the problem that exists, why does that exist? It exists because the tools and methodology that are used to detect and catch the fraud and the errors are lacking. On the one hand, do you believe that right now the number one way to catch a fraud is tip line? The tools, you can see the analytic tools that exist today only find 3%. Anyone is in analytics, it's a horrible number. And the number of months it takes to catch a fraudster increases to 32 months. What did we do? We basically tackle the methodology and the tools. In terms of the tools, what we have tackled, we created algorithms. So I'll talk about our technology in a second, but we have 30 algorithms currently, and it's growing. We have an AI ensemble of algorithms that are consistent of 4 different categories. We have the rule-based, that currently the tools that are in existence are offering. Then we offer statistical algorithms, machine learning, AI algorithms, and then we do cross-correlation. We also address the issue of methodology. Currently, the accountant in the field in here knows that you use the notion of reasonable assurance and they do sampling. Well, sampling is finding a needle in the haystack in a haystack. We test 100% of the transaction. It's very simple. We launched the first World AI Auditor last December. Yes, last week, PwC announced their beta of the same thing, or supposedly the same thing. All you have to do is download the data, step 1, and we give you the result. We surface the result to you basically very rapidly. What are the markets we are addressing? We're addressing 3 markets. The first market that we're addressing is the CPA world. Just in the US alone, there are 38,000 CPA organizations. The same product addresses also the internal audit, which is any company mid-size and above. And finally, we also address the same product addresses for solution sales, similar to what Palantir is doing. We have 50 customers worldwide. We sell into 4 countries right now: Australia, UK, Canada, in the US. We have incredible team. Just to describe, this is my 7th company. I had 3 exits before. The last one was sold to SurveyMonkey for a lot of money, the largest private exit in Ottawa in a decade. Our CTO was the chief architect of IBM Watson Analytics. He had 200 people working for him, and he dropped all of that to join a 7-man company. The rest of the team, we have over 140 years experience. So we are at the intersection of 3 things. We have incredible product. It's proven in the field. We have a very experienced team, and we have a market that is unlimited. And basically, you can see in there, I got everybody in the company to sign that we all committed by the year 2021 to go IPO. Thank you very much.
With 30 seconds to go to make up for my errors. All right, what questions have we got for Ellie?
What are your current top line revenues annually?
Well, we did $700,000 so far. We launched our first product at the end of December. We actually in the hands of customer in Q1. So we did 100, 300, and 300.
Got it. And so your average revenue per customer, you have 50 customers. Are they in a pilot phase right now?
No,
or?
they're all in deployment. So we have three modes of business model. For the CPA world, we charge per engagement. An engagement for us is an audit file for a year. And we charge $2,000 per audit file. We have unlimited users. In terms of the internal audit, we are in pilot right now with a number of multinational, and we charge per transaction. It can go anywhere from $20,000 to $400,000 per year. And for the solution sale, the Bank of England is one of them. We were just announced last week that they are going to utilize our AI engine to help them with the LIBOR rate, the new LIBOR rate, because they had problem with the previous one, as you know.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Right. So it was just announced last week. We charge per basically we're only in pilot in this case, but we'll charge for the probably $500,000 per operational.
So you're looking for fraud in public markets?
It's the public market.
So your algorithms look for fraud in public markets?
Well, as I said, in our case, fraud is error plus intent.
Yeah.
We find errors. Intent, we need human to determine that it's intent.
So I just want to go a little bit further on that question. So it's in the second area, internal audits, can you just describe a couple of use cases that you would offer to a
Of
large
course.
FI? Just make it tangible for me.
The difference between an external audit and internal audit is very simple. It's the duration. So in the case of external audit, you're looking at the rearview mirror. The year has passed, you take the GL and you take the sub-ledgers and you analyze them. In the case of internal audit, you do it per day, weekly, quarterly, and so on. So it's just the number of transactions and how often you do it. It's the same product, identical.
So we're not looking for patterns in transactional type data. You're mostly focused on GL information.
That's with GL and sub-ledgers.
Sub-ledgers.
We analyze 100% of the transactions and we cross-correlate them. So we are adding to the big data problem. So if we have 1 million transactions, our biggest file that we have done is 10 million transactions, and we analyze all 10 million, and we run all 30 algorithms against all 10 million transactions. And then we surface problems and what we do, we show you high, medium, low risk. And generally what it shows, there is about a handful of high risk, about 10 times that amount, about hundreds in the medium, and then the rest at the low risk.
Please.
Do you focus on the European or French market?
We right now only on the English speaking. We are being requested to look at the French and the German, but at this point in time, we are very careful. We are 32 people in the company, and we have people actually in Europe and in the US that are selling on our behalf, but we are sticking, at least for the next quarter, for only the English speaking.